What the fuck?
It's the Fever Podcast.
One time, Slash from Guns N' Roses, he had this friend who was also in a band, I forget which one, but he was with him and his friend's girl had just dumped him, so Slash's friend started shooting up heroin hardcore, and his friend OD'd. Slash didn't call the police. He just threw him in a cold bathtub because he thought it would work.
It didn't work, did it?
And then he kind of came to, and then he did a bunch of heroin again, and then he OD'd again, and then Slash called the police, but by then it was way too late.
That sounds like a savage way to go out, man.
I don't know. It sounds like something a doctor would do.
And during the story, Slash tells the story, and he says, yeah, we went and saw Jaws 3D that day, and it was the second worst thing that happened that day.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, don't knock Jaws 3D.
Alrighty, guys. Welcome to the
Jaws 3D.
Fever Dream Podcast. I'm your host, Mike. I'm sitting here with the head editor of the show, Sage. I am also here with Grammo, Big G, Heavy G, G Money, Big G's, Low Hanging G,
Yes.
Girth.
Girth, just Girth,
Girth Squeezle.
Perth, because he likes Australia,
For some reason.
a true American. And the guest of honor in the blue corner, he hails from one of the two coasts of America. His name is Ben. We don't do last names on this one, so welcome, Ben.
Hey.
We also don't
I made it.
recognize the Gulf of Mexico or the southern coast, so...
Yeah.
Well, neither do I.
Yeah, so Ben,
There's only one ocean, and it's the Atlantic.
here's how we're going to start this one off, guys. Ben is a very special guest.
Ooh.
And believe it or not, I think we have mentioned the Bolts House and Bolts House memes and all those kinds of things. But Ben holds a special place as far as the community here.
Oh, Lord.
And there's a lot of lore. Every kind of friend group, you might not realize that every friend group has some kind of lore. You got a buddy, he's invincible, you know. Everyone's got the friend, my friend can fly, right?
My little brother knows a kid that can actually suck his own dick.
Yeah, that's superpower.
Do you have his number?
But Ben falls into the same category, right? So there's a lot of lore that falls specifically on Ben, and I just figured, I don't know, how do you guys want to go around explaining this, or do you guys want to give backstory? What do you guys think is the best way to go about it?
What was the first Ben lore?
Well, the first Ben lore started around the same time as the beginning of the universe. See,
Good God.
Ben isn't actually a human being. It's so he was created.
That's really important. Ben isn't a human being.
No, not at all. He was actually created in the cosmic fire of the Big Bang when some rogue molecules collided with some fucking crazy hot neutron gas and birthed Ben into the universe.
So that's his origin story, kind of. As far as his current form, it's really tricky. If you know what a paradox is, something that can exist in one way, but just by a very law of it breaks reality, right? Like a staircase that goes up forever, that picture of the square painting with the staircase, and you're like, well, stairs got to start at bottom top, right? Not with Ben.
Ben is actually the anchor stone that holds all matter together. All matter would instantly decay into entropy if there wasn't the single neutron block that keeps gravity in the universe working, and that's Ben. So he can't be created or destroyed. It was created with the creation of the universe, and his destruction would also mean the destruction of the universe. But thankfully, that can't happen according to the laws of physics. He binds the universe together.
essentially, Ben's an immortal being. I guess a few of the small things. His bones are liquid, so they're stronger. They're like thousands of times stronger than bone. They're way more dense, but they move like liquid. And Ben kind of controls how they move and what their form is. So it's kind of like, it's extremely deadly. He's extremely volatile. He has been classified by most of the major governments in the world that have enough money to put in research. Ben research, Big Ben. And all signs point to him being an absolute fucking weapon of destruction.
The SCP Foundation tried to capture him one time, but decided it was impossible.
Yeah, they tried freezing him. You can't keep him on ice. What else can Ben do? What are some of his traits? What are some of the, even like some things that are... Ben's been alive so long, most of common like folklore and legend are stemmed from Ben's existence.
The chupacabra, like... Yeah. I've watched him. I watched him pick up a dachshund puppy one time and literally suck its bones out.
Dude.
There was no blood or anything. I don't know how he managed to do it, but
Ben can suck someone's entire skeletal structure straight out of their body in an instant's notice.
Let me put it this way: the dachshund puppy didn't actually die immediately. Like, it tried to whirth around, but it didn't have any bones, and it just made the small like kind of noise.
I don't think it's painful. Like, imagine just suddenly you don't have bones and you're just kind of like laying there.
Yeah, it's like a meat
It's
sack.
not like, it's like as if that's what you were all along.
Yeah, just like a sack of meat at this point.
Yeah. You were telling me something, Sage, about he can suck the oxygen out of the room? What is that?
It's actually an incredible defense mechanism that has never been replicated in nature. So, like, if Ben gets too startled, then he'll instantly, like, his skin will absorb all of the oxygen in the room and turn it into ionizing radiation, which just instantly kills anything around him.
Do you know how hard it is to listen to this? Like,
what are we missing, Ben? You've heard a lot of things. What's on your mind? We're missing a lot of stuff. This has been going on for years.
I know. I've been getting accused of these ridiculous fucking things for years.
Lots of things involving pasta.
My God,
what do you have?
Shit.
What do you have on the pastagram?
Oh no! So you just see Ben going to take a shower, and then you hear a fork scraping. And you know he is eating lasagna in the fucking shower.
Yeah.
It's not even a joke there. Like, he will legitimately
I literally watched him walk into the bathroom with 2 plates of pasta, one in each hand, and then proceed to take a shower.
I heard, like, a joke about it, and then one time, so he'll take, like, the whole pot, like, a big pot that'll cook, like, a couple pounds of rice, right? And he'll cook the thing in there just like anybody else. And then... but fucking same thing. I heard like a fork and a fucking clink clank in the shower by his room. It's right across from his room. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, I'm going to sit on the couch outside the door and just wait for him to come out. And he comes out in a towel and he's got the whole fucking pan and it's empty. I'm not talking like a skillet. It's like a whole fucking like a crock pot that would have been full when he went into the shower.
All right. I'll confirm that one is actually true.
Yeah.
He also said something about spilling hot soup on his testicles and thigh one time. Oh, man.
All right, listen. I've been eating food in the shower for a good half decade. There was one time in particular when I made some really hot vegetable soup. And it's not easy eating things in the shower. It's definitely an acquired skill that's like a trial and error at first. But once you get it down, it's... quite nice because you're really doing 2 things at once.
I feel like you're tall enough to where you can keep like your arms above the water and you can kind of just like turn a certain way and just fucking eat. I feel like it'd be easy for you. You're so tall, you're like over the shower head already.
I won't reveal my methods. Those are secret. But
right.
I had a piping hot bowl of soup and it was so hot it was burning my fingers. So I turned the shower water cold. So the water would cool down the bowl.
Yeah.
But the soup was still hot, so I'm doing my thing. I'm not gonna try and reveal too much, but I go for a scoop and my hand slips and this piping hot fucking soup slips out of the bowl and hits my fucking balls and then it hits my foot. And fucking my back's to the shower. and my fucking balls are on fire, my foot's on fire, and I can't think of what to do. And then 5 seconds later, I realize I'm in a cold shower, and all I had to do was turn around. But by then, the burning had taken effect.
Right. It's really incredible, man.
I have two questions. First question is, you said that eating in the shower is an acquired skill. What would compel somebody to acquire said skill? Like, I get why people, like, learn an instrument or, like, a different language, but, like, can you put that on a job application?
They probably have that on astronaut training. Astronauts go through everything. I guarantee you it's on the list.
I bet. It started at Brian, when I was living with Brian, like 5 years ago, and I don't know why it started, but I was always in a rush to get out for some reason, even though I don't have a life, and whenever I go outside, I don't do anything outside. But I just had to somehow find a way to multitask, and I don't know. I got away with it for like 2 or 3 years before you guys actually put it together.
Another thing about Ben, how like a black hole is black because it sucks in the energy of the light? Ben has this same sort of effect in a room. It's all like sunlight does not refract off him. Like it's actually darker around Ben when he walks.
We actually
just because he absorbs the energy.
We can't even tell what race he is because
he's not human.
Yeah, you can't physically observe him.
Yeah,
I'd assume black, but
how do you know I'm here?
Well, because like you project and like you use a telepathic projection to like directly beam your image. It's not really an image. It's more of like your brain malfunctioning and like you have this like static blob that you perceive as Ben.
Yeah.
You can't really explain it. Like you ever like spend any time with your head in a microwave oven?
Sure.
That's what it's like trying to perceive Ben.
It's really intense. One time, have you guys ever seen the Transformers movies? The one where, do you know what the Allspark is? It's like the big cube, but it'll fold out into like something bigger, and it's like a super like weird power source that they use in the movie as like a plot device.
Yeah, and it like turns like anything into a transformer.
Exactly. It like creates like robot sentient life. And it's like the strongest thing. The whole fucking plot is literally fighting over that. So Ben usually locks his door to his room. But one time, I just sometimes I'll just walk in. I'm usually pretty good at knocking, and he's usually pretty good at locking his door. But one time, I just fucking opened his door, unlocked, and fucking, he had like these glowing eyes, and he had the Allspark in his hands, and he was just looking directly into it like he was transmitting data with it. But I just fucking closed the door, and I ran out of the house, dude. I didn't come back to the house for like fucking 18 hours.
I have no recollection of this event.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't.
What else is Ben lore? What else is kind of, and it doesn't have to be like extremes, like there's other smaller things, like,
he wants lolicon to be decriminalized.
That's not
I
do not advocate for that.
So I don't know, I guess the ironic thing about all this,
fuck you, Graham.
Ben has almost like superpower, superhuman like traits and aspects to him, but he watches a lot of anime, so it's almost like it's just kind of reflected onto him as a person,
I once saw Naruto run through a park so fast that he ran straight through a little girl. Like
Is that pedophilia? He was inside a little girl briefly.
No, he's probably just looking the other way like, oh, look at that biker, and then he just straight through her like it was a fucking...
But see, that's the thing, is the girl, her body appeared to be unharmed. It looked like he just phased through her, but somehow her soul left with Ben, and so she just kind of plopped down.
Dude,
I believe it. I believe you, man. It's fucking without a doubt.
Was there pasta anywhere in this picture?
Probably.
I have to assume there was.
Somewhere.
Just tray of lasagna just sitting on a bench.
Ben leaving a trail of destruction on his way to Noodles and Company.
Yeah. What's the closest species Ben is to in the as far as like Earth species go, right? Like what is he closest to?
So like those fucking jellyfish that live for tens of thousands of years
Yeah.
around volcanic vents at the bottom of the ocean.
Right.
Like that.
What's the something bear? What's it called? It's in the water.
Oh, the water bears, the
Water bear.
tardigrades, the ones that
Yeah.
can survive in the vacuum of space.
Yeah, it's like that and like the giant squid.
Yeah.
It's only been filmed twice. You know, it's only it's either the giant squid or the colossal squid. They're different, and one of them has only been caught on film 2 times. One of them was like last week. The other time was like in the 90s. Like that's kind of what Ben is.
You know those really old like seafaring maps that always have like sea monsters drawn into like the ocean and shit?
Yeah.
And, like old seafaring tales.
Scrimshaw.
Yeah, Scrimshaw, you know, of like a ship being eaten by a whale.
Yeah.
Modern historians actually think that those were early seafarers' encounters with Ben.
Yeah, they all share kind of a likeness to Ben. Almost as if there were like thousands of him on this planet at one point, but he's like the last of his species.
But see, that's the thing is, you can make it appear like there's thousands of him, but in reality, he just moves really quickly.
Yeah, so quickly that he might just exist at every point in time in history.
Like he's like a
But it's the same
fourth-dimensional
guy.
being. He's a fourth-dimensional being. He
Yeah.
exists on time as well. Like everywhere he could be and has been and ever will be, he is currently.
Yeah. It's like how electrons have superposition. How like if you try to identify their space, they could be at fucking like multiple places at once. He's kind of just harnessed that fucking feature.
Yeah, like right now while he's sitting here with us, he's also taking down an airliner in the Bermuda Triangle.
And also in the shower, saving time with pasta. You know, it's like not only is he taking down a fucking airliner and an oil cruiser, right? Like he doesn't waste time showering and eating. Like he hits those at the same time, even though he exists everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Ben?
I will admit that I've eaten more pasta in the shower than probably any human.
That's a weird
has lived.
statistic. Yeah.
I doubt it. I doubt any other human that has lived on this planet has eaten more pasta in the shower than me. And you all know him. How does that make you feel?
That's pretty cool.
Who do
man.
we call to like warn? I feel like that's
there's-
not
I don't
totally
know,
legal.
a chef.
I called a dog catcher once because Ben was kind of just like rolling around in the yard, and then he kind of like gave me a dirty look when he rolled by. He's like, "This ain't a fucking dog." It's like I didn't know what to do, man.
The police won't come here anymore.
The police, they stopped just like that old bitch next door that calls. They're riding bikes at my house, and they're like, "Ma'am, stop calling, Cheryl, please." You know, it's like that's how they have our number on the list. Like, don't fucking respond.
Yeah, people in the park like, there's a guy out here eating geese, and then like,
There was a Ben Moore thing with geese. What was it?
Geese.
Am I wrong?
Can he? Yeah, you can like control flocks of geese.
Yeah.
What? I didn't even know about
No, this was real. I swear.
Yeah, no, he telepathically communicates with geese. They're like his hell demons, you know? You know how
Yeah.
Satan has
How-
like minions of hell?
Geese are like the embodiment of evil. They're just fucking rats with wings. That's what Ben can control them.
When did you come up with this one? I never heard of this
What
one.
was this, like 3 months ago, 4 months ago?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I mean, we didn't come up with it. We actually observed it happening.
Yeah.
you know, it's been quite wild living here for 3 years and me just sitting in my room, you know, doing what I do in my room. I'm not going to tell you what I do in my room when I'm alone.
I assume it has something
Right.
to do with anime and your penis.
You know, it's usually one of those two things.
Right.
But just sitting in my room and all of a sudden I just hear things in the living room. Yeah, Ben fucking controls volcanic ash and calls a nuclear winter whenever he wants.
Ben is a deity! And you're like, what the fuck?
And it's like, you know how weird it is to live here and be me?
It's got to be pretty cool.
I hadn't seen Ben.
There's other cool stuff. There's other cool stuff. Like, these are all supernatural things, but there's like Ben's a movie star. Right?
I've never heard that one.
Yeah, you're a movie star,
Ben's a
but
movie
you're
star.
a kind of like a second-rate actor to better Ben.
Yeah.
Oh, God, fucking-
this is like another segment now.
I
So
fucking hate
Better
this
Ben,
Segway.
Better Ben is like its own fucking thing. So I'm gonna let Ben explain this. Who is Better Ben?
All right, first of all, I fucking hate this joke. This is the one thing I hate the most.
I didn't come up with it, and I've barely gone along with it.
Brian came up with it.
Right. It's an
Fucker.
old one, isn't it? It's like a decade old.
It's a couple years old, but how did Brian come? He basically the joke is there's this person named Better Ben, and he does everything I do normally, but he does them better than I do. So he's better at basketball. He's
Right.
better at golf.
He's funnier.
He's seen more anime than I have. He's funnier. He's more handsome. He's just a better version of me.
He's probably eating more pasta in the shower.
He's like a half-inch taller than you.
Yeah, he's
just like a little bit more muscular.
Are you the below average Ben?
Ben's got like a 9.5-inch dick on him, but fucking Better Ben's got like 10.2 on him.
like a full OG Mudbone
Yeah,
hog on him.
a full like 3/4 longer, and like a fucking like 1 centimeter thicker. And you're like, are you kidding me, dude?
Ben, we need a big, strong man.
Not you. We need
Can you go find one?
We need the better one.
Fuck Chase.
That happened when we were working.
They were loading
You want one of
fucking
these,
gas
man?
pumps.
These are really good.
I do kind of want one to chase this, because Graham's sucking this down pretty quick. I'm almost a little impressed.
I'm still feeling pretty sober. Ask me again in like 10 minutes.
Right. We're just having a couple of drinks here. I guess just a quick intermission. Thanks, guys, for listening. Go ahead and send any emails, suggestions, YouTube comments, and as well, we do have an email. It's originalfeverdreampodcast@gmail.com. No plurals, fever dream, singular, originalfeverdream@gmail. Any suggestions, ideas, things you liked, things you hated. We've been getting a lot of hate mail. And, I'm not going to fucking lie and say I don't cry a lot, right? I read the mail, I try to go to bed, I can't sleep, I cry. But I love the feedback. So thank you, guys.
Oh, make sure you plug the new MySpace page, too.
So back when MySpace tried to resurface in like 2015, and they had like Mac Miller do a commercial for him. That's what we had a commercial too. I don't know if you guys remember it, but it was for the podcast. And I realized we've probably only been coming out these for 2 months. We've been recording for like 3 years, and I just kind of lost the audio files. So that's my bad on that one. But check out our MySpace. Just /Feverdream. It's Palmcast with like an M instead of a D. It apparently was taken, so Palmcast. Thanks, guys. But yeah, there's a lot of things about Ben that nobody really knows about. It's part of the lore. We've known it for a long time, so we kind of get used to these things. But I don't know. What else do you remember, Sage?
Well, Ben can control lightning.
Okay. How do you mean?
I mean, he can control lightning.
Yeah.
Like, when lightning strikes, it's because Ben wills it.
Like all lightning is due to Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why, like, the Democratic Republic of the Congo has the most lightning strikes out of any other country in the entire world.
Well,
Because Ben really doesn't like Africa.
when I lay on my back and I have an erection, my erection is the tallest thing around. And the lightning comes right for it.
Yeah. It's kind of strange. So if you look at slow motion footage of lightning, it actually it meets in the middle. So it starts from the ground and it starts from the sky and it meets. It doesn't actually hail down from the sky. This is fact.
Yeah. Yep.
And cameras haven't been good enough until recently to where if you zoom in on like a really high quality slow-mo of the lightning coming in, you can actually see a being, like a dark figure at the bottom of the fucking each strike. And the major governments that have dumped billions into research into Ben, they have large reason to believe that it's him. So, I mean, what purpose does lightning serve in nature? It's not. It's just chaos.
It's weird.
It's
yeah.
just fucking craziness. So it's obviously Ben. Nature wouldn't have just done that.
No, since
It isn't natural.
Ben is the incarnation of chaos. Like, Ben is the reason that the universe will die in heat death.
Yeah.
Because, like, without Ben, then the universe would be perfect order. Like, all war, famine, natural disasters, like supernovas, black holes swallowing solar systems, all Ben's doing.
If you've ever slipped on an ice cube, maybe you work in a kitchen, you slipped on a fucking ice cube last week, Ben put it there because he's in superposition.
Come on, I did not do that.
Ben
you
fucking,
did.
That's just mean.
You're like, if you ever have that, like, man, I'm having a shitty day, right? Ben can feel that, and then he superpositions to where you live, and where you work, and he'll just put an ice cube right where you're fucking stepping. You're like, how could my day get worse? You hit the fucking ground. That's Ben.
All right, you made me from like a supernatural, like weird being that's omnipotent to like just some jackass.
Okay, well,
You're an omnipotent jackass.
Yeah.
You're like the chaos that reigns in the universe, so that order can't just like take over everything.
I sat down tonight and just a fucking Lego brick right up my asshole. I don't know who else to blame. It's worse than stepping on it.
yeah.
Just punching you right in the
Rigid.
rectum.
Those things are sharp. So I don't know. I guess we can change to a more lighthearted note about Ben. Ben will fuck anything. This is known fact.
Yeah, that's lighthearted.
That's why he takes pasta into the shower. He
Right.
gets sustenance and power by going balls deep into a tray of lasagna.
Yeah.
You hear the fork scraping. Then there's a brief silence with sucking sounds.
See,
Alright.
Ben's whole thing is he doesn't want to waste any nutrients.
There was one time.
The tip of the male genitalia has a good ability to absorb nutrients, believe it or not, and Ben's kind of utilized that, even though he doesn't need it as an immortal being. He doesn't need a penis, but you know.
You just hear soft like fork scraping sounds, and then you hear just mild sucking sounds coming out of the bathroom. A deep, grotesque squelching just comes through the bathroom door.
Well, also there's an added benefit to him fucking his lasagna too. You know how like no, this is cool.
We're just gonna keep talking about me fucking lasagna.
This is really
How long
interesting.
is this gonna?
This is really interesting. So you know how like a mother deer will eat the afterbirth after like giving birth to a
What?
fawn?
How is this related to me fucking lasagna in the shower?
Well,
He'll tie it in. He's gonna
just
tie it in.
Yeah, we'll
It'll
see.
tie in.
this better fucking tie in.
We'll see.
You brought it up.
Ben, the reason they do that is because, giving birth is hard and they need nutrients, and that's a lot of nutrients in the afterbirth. Ben, after he's done having his way with his lasagna,
Yeah.
he can then reconsume the nutrients, and it's already mixed into the lasagna.
He calls it Alfredo.
Jesus.
Why
Christ.
did you?
Usually you just hear him saying it. He goes, "I'm Ben, and I'll fuck anything," right? You're like, "Geez, dude," and then you're like, "Hey, man, take it easy." He's like, and you're like, "Give me that pudding, that boot full of pudding. I'll fuck that," Like he'll just do it with fucking anything.
Just door slams, and you
Yeah.
just hear soft squelching sounds. Just
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm Ben, and I'll fuck anything. Give me that used evidence bag.
That's quite the mystery bag.
Yeah, you know the fan in like an old like Chevy truck, that doesn't have that like the cowling's missing because somebody was too lazy to put it back on when they were replacing like the starter or something like that. Yeah, Ben will fuck that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's oddly specific. I feel like that's something that goes on in your life that you have to put up with.
just chops up aluminum cans and jams them in a Pringles can,
yeah.
and just goes to town.
I don't know if you've ever watched the YouTuber Superhuman. It's with 2 M's.
Oh, my boy. He's my boy.
He's fucking, check him out. He's a legend. I mean, we're small pickings compared to him, but so he uses his body to slam into like, fucking barbed wire and fucking light fixtures and coffee mugs and appliances and TVs, all kinds of stuff. He just slams his body into them. He throws his body up there and he slams on them, and there's just a wreckage at the end, and he's in pain. Well, Ben has sex with the wreckage after the videos. There's like, they turn off the cameras, and Ben's like, "Let me have my way with these broken Christmas ornaments
For
now."
the juggalos and the juggalettes.
Yeah, that's what he
That's
says.
what he yells when he comes.
Woo woo,
Fuck
Man.
this shit.
I love that guy. He's made me laugh so many times.
Yeah, well, it's cool you've met him so many times because you have sex with everything that's on their set.
It's all broken glass. How can you accuse me of having sex with broken glass and like
The same way we can accuse you of fucking a pasta dish.
one time
How about-
I was in the shower and I had a frying pan full of what was it? It was like a mixture of like eggs and spaghetti or something. I like mixed eggs and spaghetti and I had it in the shower with me. And I was holding the pan kind of low in the shower with my back to it. And I don't know, maybe someone flushed the toilet in the house and like some hot water came on my back and it made me jump and my dick might have landed in the frying pan.
Sir, you are
That
not
is the
helping your
closest.
case.
Wait, hold on.
This does nothing but
this
reinforce
is true.
this
This is
negative
absolutely true.
stereotype we have.
So does fucking an egg, does that count as pedophilia, bestiality, or necrophilia? Or is it all three?
It's nothing if it's. It can't be rape if it was an accident.
I mean,
Another thing about Ben, so you'd think, the government probably tries to come after something like this. It's so dangerous and volatile, but the thing is, you can't catch what bounces, all right? Ben's very bouncy. He's very stringy. His bones might be made of liquid, but he's almost like an elastic, he's like a bouncy ball that's under 400 psi.
you ever seen the movie Flubber?
Yeah.
Well,
Perfect fucking reference. Perfect. Go on. Yeah,
well,
what about it?
Well, Ben is basically like Flubber.
Yeah.
That's like Robin Williams' second worst movie.
He can't be hurt or harmed. He just whatever, if a bullet comes for him, his body just becomes the shape of the bullet and it just passes through him as if it didn't touch him. As well as, just his kind of way of attack. He kind of waves his limbs around in a certain way. It's really hard to explain. I mean, we've got cameras
really
here.
see it happening.
Yeah.
All I know is that there's no technology that has been able to block it.
Yeah.
I once saw him. Turns out, so Ben was there during the invasion of Iraq in 2003.
Jesus Christ.
And this was the time that he was actually working with the U.S. government because they had made a deal because they were going to give him 50,000 goats. I don't know what he wanted with 50,000 goats, but they were gone pretty quickly.
Oh my God.
Anyways, the common propaganda is that fucking A-10 Warthogs took out Saddam's Lions of Babylon, the T-72 tanks. Turns out Ben just he approached this huge mass of Iraqi tanks and just his arms shot out like this crazy anime demon thing, and they literally just went into the gun turret and literally he fucking sucked all of the bones of the dudes inside the tanks out, and that was just it. That was how Saddam's army was defeated.
That's kind of what they got from the report, but in real time, there is brief footage of it. Imagine just Ben standing on the battlefield, right? And every fucking gun and tank is pointed at Ben, and then for an instant, it's as if a camera lens went to negative, how all the colors flip negative, right? It flashes like that for 1 millisecond, and you can see these giant sharp fucking these appendages coming from Ben, thousands of them, and they're inside everything. And then next, it's just back to him just standing there, but every body is gone.
Well, I don't know what to make of that.
Well, you were there. How did you do it?
Ben likes to play dumb.
I
mean, I don't think that's the most egregious thing Ben's done. He's notorious for mutilating genitalia, specifically animals, people.
Remember that whole thing I was talking about? How Ben really doesn't like Africa. Well,
what? Hold no. Stop.
You know how
Stop.
female genital mutilations are a really big problem in Africa.
I didn't know that.
Well, it is. It's a really big problem.
Okay.
And Ben's an instigator.
I have nothing to do with that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Boko Haram learned it from the best.
Jesus, man.
If you think that's strange, I mean, this is coming from a guy that sleeps in a noose. When he goes to bed, he's standing on a stool and he's putting his neck through. He's like, "All right, good night, guys." Clunk, and he fucking hits the stool. Clunk, and he's usually swinging. He doesn't just sit in the noose; it's swinging all night. And then he's really tall, so he's got to do it in a warehouse.
I have slight scoliosis. It's a spine correctional machine.
Right.
It pretty much just looks like a noose to me.
Yeah.
I don't what is it? Medical nylon rope.
Yes, it is. I found it on the side of the road by chance.
So, do you guys remember 2001? You're apparently 5 to 7 years old. You got spaghetti all over yourself in your high chair.
Yep.
And then
Why 2001?
I think this.
Hold
I
on.
think I'll tell
I
you.
don't know why. And then you're watching
You better not.
You're watching a video.
I swear to fuck, Graham.
You're just watching the news.
Oh my
spaghetti
God.
pouring down your face.
Don't do it.
What happened? What did Ben do in 2001, Graham?
I swear to fuck, Graham.
You watch the video full speed.
Dude, it is so...
It looks.
If you watch the video full speed,
What do you mean?
You see the video, like full
The
fucking
video?
frame
Video
by frame.
of what? No, it's video of what, Graham? It's 2001. You're watching the news. What are you watching a video of?
I'm watching a video of you like fucking
Me?
eat the Twin Towers. So you watch it full speed. You're like, wow, that plane really fucked those people up. And then you slow
Jesus Christ, dude.
it down frame by
Slow.
frame, and you just see this fucking weird, like gelatinous, like mildly blonde-haired guy just flying into the side of one tower.
Mildly
Then
blonde-haired.
he does a U-turn, and then he comes back for seconds.
Right. You
All
ever
right.
seen anime? Imagine somebody making an X with their arms, and then they just throw their hands out and down towards their sides as hard as they can, right? But then, and like an energy blast comes out like an X. That's what kind of what you can see in the video.
Yeah, that's
You gotta watch it frame by frame. If you
right.
watch it full speed,
Stop,
it just
stop.
looks like a plane.
Ben wants to talk. Don't make him.
You
angry.
are not gonna fucking blame me for 9/11.
I think I just did. And I think
we
I
have
have
proof.
I have legitimate evidence. Go to
Legitimate
YouTube right
evidence,
now.
my fucking ass.
If you also watch the video of the grassy knoll, JFK's head explodes, and again,
No, you weren't. Stop.
If you if you slow down the video of JFK getting assassinated, you can see that Lee Harvey Oswald's bullet actually misses entirely. But if there's one single frame in the video where there's just this like tentacle of like pure energy that just strikes JFK in the head, and his head just
pops his skull
Cameras,
open.
the frame rate on cameras back then just wasn't quick enough, and Ben
so
really
there's
took
only
advantage of
one
that.
frame. There was only one frame where you just barely catch
Yeah.
it.
Taking it back further, everyone thought John Wilkes Booth killed Abraham Lincoln. He jumped off the stage to escape Ben, because Ben just like went through the fucking back of his chair and again popped his head off, and John Wilkes Booth jumped down onto the stage and broke his leg to escape Ben's wrath.
All right. John Wilkes had it coming. He was a terrible actor.
Ben,
So what you're
Ben-
saying is you missed John Wilkes and you hit the president.
What I'm saying is they both might have had it coming.
What about his fat bitch of a wife?
So
Abraham?
So what did Abraham Lincoln
A little chunky,
do?
wasn't she? Yeah, she was a little chunky.
What did Abraham Lincoln do?
So Ben
We should be good.
does not agree with the liberation of slaves.
Hold on.
That's why he
I'll
fought
explain
Abraham
this.
Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln was a fine guy. He, one of the presidents that didn't even finish junior high, I believe. And
Wasn't it 1800 though? Like, isn't that crazy?
right, it was 1800, but most presidents at least finished junior high.
Right.
And he did some things that I may or may not disagree with.
Like the 13th Amendment?
He once
Hold
blinded.
on.
He once blinded like a Navy captain, didn't he?
That was Theodore Roosevelt.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was Teddy.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking wrong guy.
Yeah, Teddy was a badass, but yeah, man. I mean, I think we'd be a lot further along if maybe there were some more cotton shirts going around.
Speaking of Teddy Roosevelt, did you know that Ben was actually the note cards in his pocket when he was when that guy tried to assassinate him back in, what was that, 1905?
John Wilkes,
No, Teddy Roosevelt.
06. I think that was 1906.
Was it 06?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Ben was the note card, the stack of note cards in his pocket that saved his life.
I thought it was a Bible or something, or like his speech.
It
book.
was,
It was a speech, yeah.
It was his entire speech, and it was very long. And after he got shot, he spoke for 45 minutes while bleeding out, and the bullet stayed in his body for the rest of his life.
Ben put a lot of things about not getting rid of Jim Crow laws there that the president did not read at the time. Ben wanted to have rails that kept black people away from the 7-Eleven.
Yeah, I heard a story one time. Ben, somebody offered Ben a line of coke. He's like, "Hey, buddy, you want to do a line?" And Ben's like, "The only line I know is the Mason-Dixon line."
Holy fuck. All right.
Did you do a line off the Mason-Dixon line?
Listen, I did cocaine one time, and it was when I was a sophomore in high school, and these kids kind of goaded me into it.
It's like the 60s.
It was like a free period during my sophomore year of high school, and these kids literally took me under a bridge and laid out a line like on the sidewalk.
Jesus Christ.
He wiped his nose when he, like, recalled that memory.
And
he
this
did a
was-
big old wipe across both the nostrils.
And these kids were larger. They were all fucking seniors.
Black, I assume.
They were Hispanic. On a
There
story,
we go.
they were all Hispanic and probably 50 pounds heavier than me each. And they were like, "Are you going to do it?" And then I did it. And then that's where the story ends, because I won't reveal that on the internet.
Did you know Ben is actually the leader of a cult here? Anytime I leave, I come back. He's coming back from the one, true ocean, as he says. And I just happen to be here whenever he shows up.
The Atlantic. That's the one true ocean.
Exactly.
Best
But
seafood.
I show up,
Hands
and
down.
last time I showed up, I was just sitting here. I come in, I'm like, man, why is this rabbit ripped to half in the middle of the street? And I'm like, no, that's probably Ben. And then 30 seconds later, he shows up, coming back from, as he calls it, the one true ocean. And then he takes us all into the basement, closes all the windows, takes us into the bathroom, and gives us all tattoos with his semen that will only show up under black lights.
Yeah.
So Ben,
Don't be quiet. You are God.
If I'm just reflecting on
Don't be quiet. You are God. That's the name of the fucking episode.
Jesus fuck, dude. I'm just reflecting on what had to happen for all of you to get together and make up these fucking things about me. I don't know what the hell I did to deserve any of these accusations. I just try to live my life as normally as possible. I try to keep my life private.
Yeah,
That's
right.
Fine.
Yeah, fucking right, Ben.
I'm sorry I displeased the Lord, and let
When
us
Ben-
know of our secret ways.
Ben's like-
please do not punish me.
Ben's like,
Jeez.
I'm a normal guy. How you guys come up with this? I don't know if you guys ever played Pokemon Platinum, but there's a legendary Pokemon called Giratina, and when you're in the fucking I forgot, it's like the Shadow Realm or the Dark Realm or something like that, or like one of the Voids, right? Fucking Giratina's in its origin form, and it's only in its origin form in this fucking crazy like psycho space. That's how Ben is in the fucking pitch black, okay? He hits his origin form in pitch black darkness with no light. And he's like a fucking like a spider creature. I don't know what the fuck how to explain it, but if you wake up and you live in the house with Ben, at any point in the fucking night, you could probably see like a dark fucking figurey corner in the fucking corner of the room, and as soon as you fucking turn up, it scurries out of the fucking room.
it's wild because you'll if you don't move when you wake up and you just sit there, you'll notice this like gelatinous mass of tentacles and eyeballs just like slowly pulsating, and like
Yeah.
it feels like it's breathing.
There's, like,
but
it
it's not
feels-
breathing air. It's breathing like
like-
dark matter.
It's like the room has a heartbeat. Like the air is just boom, boom.
Breathe some marinara
Boom, boom.
sauce.
I
Comes
will admit
Alfredo.
that I have stood in each of your rooms while you were in your rooms, and you guys never noticed I was there.
Just-
At least once. That is the truth. I promise. This is like completely, like, I swear on my own mother's life.
I don't even doubt it.
I don't doubt it
Coming
either. I'm
from
just
our
wondering
true descendant
why.
from Jesus Christ, Benny boy.
It's not like I saw anything. Sage was just playing like some stupid game. Mike was just like in his fucking bed laying down playing Pokemon.
Was that like yesterday?
No, this was like fucking a year ago.
Okay.
That was the one time I did it, yeah.
This is like a Jonestown situation here. We've said so much that we're gonna have some like poisoned something, most likely poisoned like Alfredo or marinara sauce that he forces us to drink or injects us with,
Just don't.
just to kill us.
You've been drinking already.
If you're a
How do you know I haven't spiked that?
I'm willing to take that risk, God. I
Graham will
trust
take
you.
that risk.
Stop
fucking-
calling me God. I'm not fucking God.
How many times has he called you God during this podcast?
At least 3 or 4 times.
So-
And every time my fucking stomach clenches hard.
Ben, can you just accept it?
I can't.
No, I'm not gonna fucking accept it.
So
I'm
Ben,
sorry I have displeased the Lord and Savior.
Stop it.
The light-
So Ben,
It's getting dark in here. The lights start flickering when Ben gets mad. Please
No,
don't.
the lights are fine. It's very nicely lit in here,
They
I must
can-
say.
they can
it's
see it
really
on-
fucking hot in this room. This Jack Daniel's not getting me drunk enough.
So Ben, it's been well established that you're both omnipotent and omnipresent. Can you confirm the existence of God then?
All right.
Everybody be quiet.
Let the Lord
Here's what
speak.
I think.
Hey,
about fucking
Graham,
God.
shut the fuck up. Go ahead, Ben.
I feel a little bad for
Go
Graham.
ahead. Fuck Graham.
All right, fuck Graham then.
It's what the Lord wills.
It's no secret that I am not a man of God, and I can confirm, at the very least, that if there is an afterlife, I'm gonna be really fucking pissed when I die.
Good thing you can't die.
Good thing you can't die, right?
Man, if I fucking die and there's an afterlife, I'm gonna be so mad.
So the first time I met Ben and everyone here in the group, it was during a Halloween party, and had zero context of the house
No, not the story.
and everything. And I come in, and I'm wearing,
I
German
fucking hate this
attire
story, dude.
with Sage. We're wearing full on German like
Go ahead.
paraphernalia looking shit.
Go ahead, scoot your chair closer.
I was dressed as a Finn.
A Finn,
I was
a Finn
dressed
with
as
a
myself.
stall helm and a white schmuck and everything like that. But I come in and I give a salute to someone. They're like, "This is a Jewish household," and the only person I see looking like disapproving into the distance is Ben.
You son of a bitch.
So I always assumed that Ben was the Hasidic one in the whole household. So I always respected him for being our one true Hebrew God.
Well, see, what's really interesting is Ben is actually the reason that Israel continues to exist. Turns out Ben is an ardent Zionist and like spends a significant portion of his time, trying to push the Zionist cause and trying to spread the word of how, great Israel is and how we should all be supportive of Israel. And how that it's perfectly okay to pee in the sink.
Oh man, fucking these New England houses have these fucking personal sinks in the bathrooms. These are all Jewish households, by the way, and fucking these sinks are a little too close to the beds, and the bathrooms are on the other side of the fucking house, and there's no goddamn way these Jews aren't peeing in the sinks in the middle of the fucking night.
So you're trying to make sure that everyone can get. I've seen your GoFundMe. You're trying to make sure that every single person of Ashkenazi descent can get their own personal sink in their bedroom.
I'm just saying Jews are sink peers. I don't know about all that Knizi shit,
I
but
was gonna say the Anasazi Jews piss in sinks, guys.
Yes, the Native American Jews
dude, I'm
from before Columbus.
So saith the Mormon religion.
So said the Mormons.
I'm sweating
You're making
bullets.
so many fucking people angry. Do you want to open up the window? You think it's cool enough outside?
I hope so, because I'm sweating bullets. And I feel like the fucking alcohol's making me hotter somehow.
I'm sorry I've displeased the Lord. Bring down your wrath upon me.
Me and Graham almost killed this bottle of Jack.
That's kind of crazy now that I think about it.
Yeah, I feel fine too. We're
I
gonna
thought it-
fucking kill it too.
I thought it was water.
We've been drinking it like
You
water.
should let fucking Ben slam the rest of that.
I'm not slamming the rest of this.
Slam it, slam it,
Just
just
goof
slam
it.
it.
It's got a,
No.
You said you don't even feel it. Why
it's
would
got a
you
long neck with a rim. Just put your feet up by the window there.
Yeah,
Well,
Graham,
there, nice.
go grab the butter. We gotta.
No butter.
That's too
No
much.
fucking-
I'm just gonna spit on it.
Ben, me and you are going to do a solo podcast after this.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Alrighty, we're joined by one of our main, one of the co-hosts, Brian Big Balls.
Heavy D.
Heavy D. Go ahead, say hi,
In the
Brian.
house.
We'll be sharing this mic, Brian. So
Okay. Introductions aside, I just want to ask, what do you think? Yay or nay? Eggs with ketchup.
Jesus Christ.
Yay.
Good.
Definitely, but they're better with mustard.
So
Fuck you, Sage.
Fuck you, Sage.
Hard pass. I have to
fucking-
pour a bottle of Taka on my eggs to enjoy them properly, and then I have
Taka
to
gin
snort them
or
through a
Taka
funnel.
Vodka?
Taka vodka, and then I have to
Taka
snort
vodka
them
eggs.
through a funnel.
They're both the same thing. Somebody just farted in the gin bottle. That's what makes it different.
hey Sage,
It's called labeling, sir.
can you go open that window?
Oh
All
my
right,
god, that
so-
fresh air's coming in.
We've gone through
Sweet
so
boy.
much. We've gone through a lot of Ben lore, and there's one more bit that I've been waiting for Brian to get back to help me with,
Oh no.
and the bit is the Block Island swordfish bit.
No.
Oh, God.
No.
Go ahead, Brian. Just take us away. Everybody, go ahead and sit back and just enjoy.
Do we need context? or
Yeah,
should
I
he
think
go
we need
for it?
context. See, so first of all, I think Ben should enlighten everyone what exactly a Block Island swordfish is before we
Okay.
get down into the nitty gritty on how it is procured.
Okay, well, I'm native from Rhode Island, and off of Rhode Island is this island called Block Island. And there's a restaurant on the main street that overlooks the ocean, and it's very famous for their swordfish. And a lot of people think it's the best swordfish in the world. So I came back from a visit from Rhode Island once and started bragging about the swordfish, and these fucking fuckers started memeing on me. And
Swag.
this is the meme, so go for it.
Ben, would you say that Block Island swordfish is something that maybe is pretty rare thing?
It's not necessarily. I guess it's
You
rare.
can only get
Like-
it on Block Island,
Like,
right?
would you say that you have to go to Block Island to get Block Island swordfish?
Yes, you have to go to Block Island to get Block Island swordfish.
Like, would you say that if you got swordfish anywhere else, there's just no possible way it could be Block Island swordfish?
Yes, I agree. It would be lower grade swordfish. None of you have fucking had it. I'm the only one who's fucking had it.
So I got a couple stories for you that I think are gonna blow your fucking mind.
All
okay.
right.
So there I was, 1986. Okay,
Oh, Graham's drunk.
deep in Siberia.
Graham's
an
on
asshole.
Sage's lap.
Holy shit. Okay, just while we wait for the couple of microphones to break, I'm gonna do this small bit. It's me opening a burger. Oh fuck. This looks like shit. Okay. Where was I?
Siberia, 86.
86? Right. Deep in Siberia, Russia. I was on a 6-month expedition with a crew out from Finland. We were searching for indigenous tribes deep into Siberia. We're talking tribes that haven't had contact with society and the media since before World War II. We're talking villages with a population of 15 or less that don't actually even know World War II even happened, let alone that it's over. So that's what we were out searching for. We were probably out there on the tundra for several weeks. Rations were getting low. Morale was getting lower. A couple of guys got dragged off in the night by polar bears. It was just getting really rough around the expedition camp. But so we found clues of civilization. We found like a boot, like a child's boot made out of like fur. So we knew we were getting close. And it took a couple nights of searching, but we found a very small village with a couple huts. We saw the smoke coming from the other, the pass or whatever. And so we went that direction. And sure enough, there was about 4 huts huddled in a small canyon. And there in the middle was kind of a bonfire, and there was about 5 or 6 grown men kind of huddled around it. So we kind of approached cautiously, not totally sure how these people would react to seeing people from not anywhere really that they're aware of. But they turned around and they saw us, and we didn't really know what to expect. We kind of froze, eye contact for a little bit. They kind of whispered something to themselves. I was reaching for my gun, but yeah. I was reaching for my gun, but one of them just kind of started yelling and waving his hands and just pointing at the fire. And he just kept gesturing for us to come over. So, I mean, I don't know. They didn't seem like too hostile, so we just approached anyway. And we're talking indigenous kind of Siberian people. Maybe at one point they were civilized, but at this point they had been gone, generations after generations in the tundra. They barely speak even a language at all. They just grunt to each other. But yeah, they were just kind of like really excitedly pointing at the fire, and they told us to come closer and come closer. I guess it was just about dinner time in the village, and they were inviting us to come and sit down and eat. So, so we sat around this bonfire in this Siberian village, probably more than 800 kilometers outside of anything known to civilization, and we were surprised but relieved to see that what they had procured for us was indeed, I shit you not, the most delicious, delectable, conscious Block Island swordfish that I have ever tasted in my entire life.
Did they have like lemon caper sauce with it too?
Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, you can't, Ben. You can't. I mean, you can't have Block Island swordfish without the lemon caper sauce, right?
I'm so fucking mad.
True story.
1986.
1986.
Listen, there's two jokes that have happened in this house that make me really fucking angry. The first one is better, Ben. I fucking
We already went over that.
hate that shit. The second one is this Block Island swordfish bit.
Dude.
Because, listen, that swordfish is so goddamn good, and none of these fucks have ever even tasted it.
That's not even fucking true. The other day I was like hungry, and so I stopped at a taco cart, right?
God damn it.
And
Where was it though? Was it the one? In,
Oh my god. This Jack Daniels is so good.
It was down in the main city around here, and it was under an overpass, right? And like I knew it was going to be a good taco cart because I saw all of like the temp workers, the
one
around.
that's right down the city, down the street from the tent city.
Yeah, that one.
Under the highway.
Yeah, exactly. And you could see all the temp workers and like the Hispanic guys because it's like in the industrial park, So you knew that was that was gonna be the best roach coach around. So I stopped and I walked up, and there's this little old Mexican guy, and he's like, "You all right, sir?" And I'm like, yeah, dos asada tacos, please. And he says, "Oh, no asada. No asada. No asada? No asada. Well, pastor? No pastor. Guarta? Yeah, tortas? No, none of it." And I asked him, "Okay, so what do you have here?" And he said, we serve the Block Island swordfish.
Tengo un Block Island.
Y una pescado sordo.
Block Island swordfish.
Una espada pescado.
Hispana que pescado delicioso.
So on a paper plate that I'm pretty sure had been already used before me.
A paper plate? Fuck you, Sage. You can't put fucking Block Island swordfish on a paper plate.
Well, I wasn't the one to put it on. I wasn't the one to put it on.
Let Sage finish. Let Sage finish.
I will not.
I was not the one who put it on the paper plate. Okay, I'm pretty sure this paper plate had already been used once before me.
Not the one to put on the paper plate? Are you fucking kidding me?
So this guy, I hand him like $1.80.
This is a no.
And he served me the best Block Island swordfish I have ever had on just like a little Dixie plate.
Oh my god!
And he's like, you want the lemon caper sauce with it?
All right.
This is a sensitive subject.
Oh.
Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
It was $1.
$1.80 for Block
It was a pretty big
swordfish.
fish. I couldn't even finish it. I just threw the rest out.
I'm gonna choke
The
on
Lord
this shitty
is
burger.
very displeased with your words, my brother.
Listen, if there's any Rhode Islanders listening right now, I'm sure you're already passed out.
From anger.
From like anger
Just
or
the
just
vein in their forehead just burst because of how fucking angry.
the sweaty Caucasian veins in their forehead from their 60-year-old, really terribly in shape bodies are fucking passed out on their fucking $10,000 beds in their goddamn condos right now.
Rhode Island's a magical place. It sounds like.
Yeah, it's a love-hate. It's a love-hate relationship. A paper plate.
Yeah, paper plate. Actually, what's really interesting too is not too long ago.
Fucker. Paper plate.
Speaking of paper plates, not too long ago, I was volunteering at the mission. You know, it was wintertime, and I was volunteering at the mission. You know, everyone needs a helping hand. I like to give back to the community when I can. And so, you know, these guys hadn't had a good, like, hot meal in a while, right? Like, they'd a lot of them obviously been on the streets for a real long time. A lot of them are obviously, you know, suffering from a lot of mental disorders, drug abuse, all that. Well, there was this really nice, this old lady. She's a real old nice lady who comes in sometimes. She cooks for the homeless people, right? And so she comes in, right, with these Tupperwares, right? And she opens them up, and kind of a fishy smell, so it was obviously some kind of a fish, right?
For the homeless?
Yeah, for the homeless. And
You're not really doing this to me, are you?
rugged guys, you know.
You're not
real,
gonna really do this to me, are you?
So anyway, so she starts. So she puts these paper. She puts these like containers in the big microwave that they have at the mission. You know, like heats them up because they were kind of like they'd been getting cold. You know, it's cold outside. She had to drive from you know fairly far away.
She had to reheat it?
Yeah, she put it in the microwave and reheated them.
You don't.
And so, anyways,
No.
So she pulls out.
Relax, Ben. It's a homeless shelter. What are they going to give them? The best of the best? They're
It
going to
sounds
microwave
like
that
that's where they're
shit.
going
So-
with it.
They're going to
So
microwave
anyways,
that shit, Ben.
this old lady,
Are you-
you
no,
guys remember
you
Zoo
cannot-
Pals? You guys remember Zoo Pals?
I remember Zoo Pals.
Or the zoo plates or whatever, you know? Yeah.
fuck yeah.
Yeah, those, remember?
Hell yeah.
Anyways, this old lady still had a stack of Zoo Pal paper plates, right? And
From like 1996.
yeah, exactly. And so she brought them in with the meal, you know. And
This hurts me.
so after she's done microwaving the fish, she puts on these Zoo Pal plates and starts handing it out, right?
I'm losing years of my life here.
And
Listening to
so
you tell this
all these
story.
guys, they start, you know, they haven't had a hot meal in a long time, but you know, they're starting to eat, you know, they're starting to eat it, you know, and like I start seeing guys like throwing it away, and they're like trying to be like polite because they don't want to hurt the old lady's feelings, but you can tell that they just weren't having this. And so, you know, the old lady, Janet, she was getting kind of upset about it. And so I kind of took her to the side and asked her, you know, hey, what's wrong? Like, you know, what'd you bring? And she said, well, I cooked, I was just came back from my home out on the East Coast. And my sister, she's a chef out on this island.
I swear to God, Sage.
And they the day before I left, they brought in a big old swordfish,
Oh
and
my God.
she cooked it up the best she could, made some lemon caper sauce with it.
There's no fucking God, is there?
She put it in these little containers, and I thought, well, I'd like to share it with my homeless friends. You know, they need a hot meal, and I just don't get it. I mean, I get not everyone likes Block Island swordfish, but you'd think that all these homeless people wouldn't just throw it out like that.
Ungrateful.
So I have been hit by Ben before,
You have?
and we all have been hit or assaulted by Ben before. But this is the
I
one
don't remember
time
hitting Graham.
he is struggling not to fucking beat Sage and I's asses into oblivion.
To be fair,
Mostly Sage.
every time he's ever beaten my ass, I assure you I deserved it.
I am sorry I have displeased the Lord.
So check this out. So check this out. You know, like on Sundays at like Home Depot, they got those carts outside where they sell hot dogs and things like that.
Come on, man. Don't fucking involve.
Well, so I was doing a little home improvement, and I had to take, on the weekend, I work Monday through Friday, so you gotta go do your weekend projects. And so I was going to Home Depot on Sunday afternoon.
Why? Why?
There was a guy outside. There was a guy outside. Oh, this burger sucks. There was a guy outside.
At least it's not blackout swordfish.
Fuck you, Sage.
So there was a guy
Fuck
outside,
you and your fucking
as I was
freshly
walking
shaved
in,
ass face.
as I was walking in, he's out there yelling, "Hot dogs! Hot dogs!" And then, "Hot dogs!" And so so I was like, "Hey man, what you selling here?" And he's just like, "Hey man, check this out, boy. You want to see my stock?" And he opens up this fucking box, and it's like not even refrigerated. It's like warm and sticky in there, but you know what? Like, I'm not gonna lie. Still to this day, the best, juiciest, translucent, avant-garde, voluptuous.
Stop using the fucking adverbs.
Renown pronouns.
Adjectives? Yeah, they're adjectives.
I'm gonna fucking squirt.
Block
Jesus
Island
Christ.
swordfish I've ever had in a Home Depot parking lot.
What do you think? What do you think? Just to give us a wrap up, a recap. How do you feel about all this? The last few bits, the podcast. What do you think, Ben?
All right.
Closing words, closing arguments.
Well, this has been a short looking in through the window of what my life has been like for the last 3 years, putting up with these fuckers. Some jokes make me angrier than others. This fucking Block Island swordfish bit where this is like a very expensive, prestigious fish that you can buy specifically on one island, and they're joking that you could just get it at a fucking homeless
Thank you
shelter.
guys so much
No,
for
I'm not
listening to
fucking
the
done.
Fever Dream podcast. Have a great night, everybody. We're out.
Your ass is sober. Can you give me a ride?
Yeah, give you
Did we get all of it?
Ben sleeps in like a fucking noose. Just swinging in his room.